ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here. I am Jonathan Bradley, the President of the Executive Board of ECPD, and I've just been asked to make a brief introduction. This youth forum is very important for ECPD, and I think it's an important event in its own right. I believe that there will be another further youth forum next year, also organised by ECPD. So there's a series, and this I think is intended to indicate the strong commitment that ECPD has towards finding the views and encouraging the participation of younger citizens, younger people in our activities. So this is a great pleasure, very important. Very briefly, I'm sure you're all aware that ECPD as an organisation is involved in a number of activities, including postgraduate master's programs, PhD programs, particularly in health, business, law, and it's also involved in a lot of conference work, research, and publications. So it's a diverse and very active organisation throughout this region, not just in Belgrade, but also, of course, in other countries in the Western Balkans. So you don't want to listen to me too much. I shall have to leave quite soon because I have other commitments, but I was keen to be here to show my support and to show how much valued this event is by ECPD. So have a good day, enjoy, I hope you find it stimulating, intellectually interesting, and at that point I will hand over to Mr. Moise.
Thank you. I'm very happy with the cooperation this year with ECPD. AEBR has had this youth forum, or actually it was youth seminar for earlier for 5 years, and now 6 years we have cooperation with a respectable organization. I was at the very first day a little bit worried that we are going to really different line with our youth forum than we used to have, because the talks at the beginning were done with quite an older gentlemen and ladies, but this was just a start, and during this week we have come actually quite near to the idea AEBR has had with the youth forum. So I'm actually very happy with the youth participation in the discussion and working workshops, and I'm looking forward to what we will be working today. Somebody told me that it's quite hard to find the AEBR in the internet, especially if we consider the youth work, and this is natural because the original AEBR is in the work of cross-border cooperation in a wider scale, and youth is just a small part of it. So in the regular meetings AEBR has, is the situation the same as we have in the discussions, that people near or even past the pension age are discussing about questions, and then sometimes we discuss the youth matter too, and so I'm happy that also this element of young people has intruded to the activities of AEBR during the last years. But still it's only one event in a year we have, and we have many other events which are about some special planning or environmental questions or just development of the borders or whatever the authorities do. And also, of course, we are lobbying towards the Commission and Parliament and Committee of Regions and so on. So it's maybe more for the young people more boring than working with the programs.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, dear partners, it's my great pleasure to be here and to greet you on behalf of the Serbian European Integration Office, Department for Cross-Border and Transnational Cooperation. First of all, I would like to thank AEBR and ECPD for organizing this great forum, and also to thank again, because this forum really provides an excellent opportunity for exchange of ideas, knowledge, and I really hope that we will have opportunity to work jointly on themes of common interest. In my presentation, I will have a presentation, but there is no need for presentation because there are just a few of us at the moment in this room. I think that it would be very good to have a kind of interactive session, so if you have any comment or any suggestion or any question, I would be really very pleased if you interrupt me and ask that, and then we can discuss it. As it was said previously on Sunday roundtable, and I see a lot of faces we already met there. Serbia currently is involved. I say currently in this period, although this is the period 2014-2020, but programs from previous perspective are still ongoing. So with regard to 2007-2013 financial perspective, Serbia is involved in 8 programs. Out of that 8 programs, 5 with EU member states, namely 3 bilateral programs with Hungary, with Romania, with Bulgaria, then 1 multilateral program, Adriatic program, and also 1 transnational program, Southeast Europe, where Serbia participates with other 15 countries. And that is a very interesting program, and I'm mentioning that program because it's quite diverse and quite heterogeneous, and it's comprised of 3 different financial instruments. Of structural funds are, let's say, are donating, then IPA, and then NPI. Also from 2007, we have 3 new programs on our west borders. Programs with Montenegro, with Bosnia and Herzegovina, and also with Croatia. Although Croatia became a member state in 2013, program continued in previous perspective to be implemented under so-called IPA management, and only from this perspective, new perspective, will be in a shared management modality. Also, I would like to tell you that 3 last calls for programs with Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro will be launched soon. Talking about current financial perspective 2014-20, Serbia also participates in 8 programs, 6 with EU member states. Out of that 6, 2 transnational programs, which follow in the greatest extent possible macro-regional strategies. Where Serbia participates, 2 macro-regional strategies, Danube and Adriatic-Ionia macro-regional strategy, and also we will have programs with Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina that will be implemented in so-called IPA management modality. Briefly, I would like to introduce you with achievements. What happened so far? So from 2007 till now, under 8 programs were 22 calls for proposals, and under that 22 calls for proposals, more than 2,700 projects were submitted, and 642 projects were contracted. All in all, more than 1,200 institutions from Serbia were involved in application process and afterwards in implementation. So we have some figures that more than 1,000 institutions from Serbia were involved in cross-border and transnational programs. Also, for any further information, you can contact me with regard to, of course, projects and programs. You can contact me or any of my colleagues, and also you can see our website, which is europa.gov.rs, which is regularly updated, and you have a section on programs and projects. So you can find all relevant information there. I would like to know, since we are a small group and we will have a workshop later on, I would like to know how many of you, I know that Johannes had experience with cross-border cooperation and cross-border projects. I would like to know how many of you were involved in some cross-border or transnational project. Okay. Very good. So, in your opinion, why do you think that these projects are important to us, important to citizens, important to our countries? Okay, we mentioned previously on our forum, and it is well known that transnational and cross-border cooperation is, let's say, in a way, invented to heal in a way scars of history, but tell me your opinion. Why do you think that is important for us?
First, I have a question for you.
Please.
What kind of EPA components is most used in Serbia, and for what? And how many of the funds of the EPA Serbia used for and for what?
Okay. With regard to financial period 2007-2013, we were using two components EPA, first and second. And okay, second component is cross-border cooperation. In first component, I suppose as you did, we put everything. So there you have HR, you have building capacities, you have rural development. It covered everything. Everything what was possible, literally, almost literally, everything from culture to infrastructure.
I hope it's not secret, but how many of the money of the funds we use the old funds?
No. Some estimation. Some estimation, and still I cannot give you exact numbers because projects are ongoing. But so far, around 90% is absorbed.
It's too much.
Around 90%, yes. Please.
Well, first I want to reply to your question that you asked, like, why is it important, and I just say my opinion. And I think that this kind of projects are very important for awareness, like to just give citizens the idea of what is the European Union and what is the perspective of the country if we become a member of the European Union. Because I guess this is not an easy issue, because many people outside of the European Union think that the European Union is the heaven, it's the best like space to join, but there might be some issues that that can not be that acceptable for every country, right? And I know that some new members of the European Union have some kind of issues that they expected different, like the population expected different, and then they kind of got disappointed, whatever, this kind of thing. So I think that before a country enters the European Union, it is very important to know what is it about and to know every detail, and then make a decision if they really want to be the space, the member of this space. And also, this is just my opinion, why this program is important. And I also have one question, how in Serbia, how much, like approximately population, how much of the population supports the integration of the European Union? Is it, well, did you have any referendum or some kind of inquiry whether the majority is for this, or are there any political forces or even the groups in the society who just think differently, and they might say that why the European Union just want to be like out of this space, or just different, I don't know, some other opinions, if there's it.
And thank you for your opinion. And answer on your question is we have the institution where I work usually on a 6 month basis is doing some kind of survey with regard to different teams. So one of the team was how many people are, let's say, for EU and how many not, and it varies. Usually it's about 10%, and depends on the momentum, political, economic, etc. But what can be seen that's increasing, and there were certain periods when that percentage was decreased for 5 to maximum 10%, but it's around, all the time it's around 50%. But okay, since my team and my presentation today was focused on potential benefits, obstacles, as well as challenges with regards to cross-border and transnational cooperation. Now you gave me a really great intro for example, for visibility. I can tell you one interesting thing. We had also a poll, what do you think, what is the biggest donor to Serbia? People were doing, Serbia. And it was said that's Russia. That was not correct, because Russia wasn't at that time, and it's not now also a donor. On the second place was Japan. EU was on some, I don't know, third or fourth place. And that is terrible, because nobody knows about concrete results, achievements. And it's not only here, it's also in the EU level. I have here some statistics I'll share with you. For example, it's very good how people from Japan did that. They gave to us, to Belgrade, around 10 buses. Great, new, yellow buses, clean. And there was a label from the people of Japan, and that buses are going all around the city, and they are in perfect condition and very, very clean and so visible. And everybody is like their biggest donors. But talking about that on EU level, so some statistics says, you can find also that according to Eurobarometer survey from 2010, almost 90% of EU citizens have never heard of the EU regional funding helping cooperation between regions in different countries. That is astonishing, Talking about that, we should really be aware that projects are best ambassadors of programs and cross-border cooperation. So when you implement, I want to tell you that when you implement your projects, please tell people what you do. Tell them your success story.
I just something to ask.
Please.
About your statistic about the Russia and the support in the Serbian. What's the source? Your researchment is from here or of global opinion?
From here. I'm from Serbia.
Yeah.
I
And
want
why was that?
I want to
Sorry?
For what it will mean that the Russia will support? And mean that you mean that the European funds is very popular. You have the funds and you have the resource of the funds, and the people speak that you it's not supporter the Serbia in this case. Great, but again, and Russia it's a big support.
Mainly here I was talking about.
I think the political system, the political issues is more influence for this question about the funds.
Important results to be achieved and goals when it comes to territorial cooperation. And since I come from Croatia, I have a question actually for you. I have had CBC experiences, but since I come from the north of the Adriatic, I've had more, let's say, contacts with the western regions. And I was wondering if maybe you could give us a best practice example for the eastern Croatian border, and that means western, so Serbian borders, let's say in the Vukovar and Srijem counties. If maybe you know of some project that was really successful that managed to make cultural diversity, to raise awareness about cultural diversity as a value, maybe.
Okay, cultural diversity
And similarities, of course, in those regions.
We had a lot of that, but talking about CBC, Croatia, Serbia, I would tell you about one project that is under preparation.
Okay.
It's not about cultural diversity, but it's very important issue for both countries, for both our countries. So
social cohesion.
it's a strategic project, and it's focused on demining activities where Vukovar and Belgrade are doing things together. Actually, centers for demining from Croatia and from Serbia will jointly purchase equipment, will jointly buy a boat, will demine port of Vukovar, and then they will be able to continue their cooperation somewhere else, you know, to jointly act towards the
Moving
parties.
barrier.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
But I am here, so I was listening with great interest to this discussion about visibility of EU projects and opinion amongst populations. And an observation I would make is that in my own country and in France, that I know very well, often it's in the interests of local politicians to claim credit for the good things that come from the EU and to blame the EU for anything that people don't like. And I think this makes it very important to make sure that the projects, the management of the projects, and the European Union oversight of them communicates directly with people and does not rely too much on communication through local politicians. I have been a politician, so I know how they work, but I think this is important for getting the message across, because in my country also, Britain, the European Union is not popular at the moment, unfortunately, but actually the financial and other benefits that have come from the European Union are huge, enormous, and they are not well appreciated by the population. Just a comment.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I'd like to add to this. This is my opinion too, that the EU projects, they don't, even though there are people-to-people projects, they are not the common people who are involved. It is some not so small NGOs, third sector, yes, but it's a bottleneck in the cross-border cooperation. It's the bottleneck of people meeting people. There are handful of people meeting handful of people, and usually the large groups of people don't know much about the project. So we cannot refer
So I'm sorry
people
for
here
interrupting you.
as.
So actually you are now opening one other thing, which is the question of ownership of the project.
We don't have, people have, the word people has many meanings, and in some sense it's like the nation the people in the nation, and this is not included. People is in this case some handful of people, and we have bottlenecks. We have projects itself are actually bottlenecks in cross-border cooperation because it's limited number of people, limited number of organizations which are doing this. And how do we? And they are like often pilots or best practices and so on, as it should be widened further, but actually with what money it does the knowledge actually transfer. So this really means that ordinary people and the wide scope of people don't know about this.
Lady. I can tell you the example of my country. I'm from Georgia. EU promotion in my country is a part of political rhetoric. Like every political force in my country agrees that EU integration is an ultimate goal of Georgia.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, and they just, if anyone says, and if any political force or if any politician says that, well, there might be some obstacles, and you know, European Union is not the ultimate goal of our country, then it means that they are kind of traitors and they're not patriotic or something like that. And there are like EU flags everywhere, and if you say that this thing is good because it is the EU standard, it means that it's good. And even 5-year-old kid will tell you that EU is a sweet candy, whatever. So it's probably like depends on a country, but for us, as for non-EU, and we have the Ministry of EU Integration, so it's like a lot of money spending on this promotion, right? So Ministry of EU Integration, this is like something, you know, just for something to be, yeah. It's just, it depends on a country, I would say, because as we are not the EU member state and we do not face the difficulties and problems of the inside European Union, we are just saying that everything that is connected to the EU is good, and it is a very popular idea in Georgia. So political forces in this term, and political parties and government and governmental like opposition, they just agree that EU is something that we gotta go towards to.
I completely understand your point, but now I'm interested to hear more about concrete cross-border or transnational cooperation program and projects. Tell me about real, and one thing is EU as such, but here I would like to focus about cross-border projects. I'm interested in that. For example, who was mentioning that on our forum on Sunday? I think Professor Viskovic, that there was practice established between France and Germany many years ago, before EU funded the project.
In the 70s it started.
When I think this project and this initiative even before, when around 10,000 students from Germany visited France, and from France visited Germany. And survey showed that firstly they've seen each other as enemies, and afterwards as first ally. And that is the influence of cross-border cooperation. We had similar practice, for example, under one program, under program completely, Hungary, Serbia. Our country was in isolation for years. And can you imagine that you have Subotica, which is distance from border, it's on the Serbian side, Subotica is on the Serbian side, and distance from Hungarian border is, I don't know, even like 20, less than 30 kilometers. And you have Szeged, city in Hungary, and distance is also around 30 kilometers. So it's so close on one side, on the other side it's so far. Because for I don't know how many kids and young people that project which started in 2004 brought a lot of joy, firstly, and after that a lot of knowledge. Because around 5,000 people, around 5,000 children were able to go to Hungary and also from Hungary to go to Serbia. And actually only then, after decades of isolation, they started to know each other and work together. Actually that project was devoted to zoo garden in both cities. And it was a great project.
Also yesterday in Prizren and Pristina with
My mother was there.
a beautiful town, beautiful city, with Professor Kekala, who is here, and with Professor Damovic, who is Serbian professor at Canada Mission. And we were talking about ECPD, cross-border cooperation, if you like. It's not government, this is ECPD. Serbia, Kosovo, Albania, Macedonia. So it does happen. It's just at perhaps at a slightly different scale. So ECPD is doing these things. You know, that's all.
Yeah, very good.
A comment too that I already yesterday pointed out that when we are doing cross-border cooperation, we are not basically doing politics. So it is national level to do the national politics, and if it's like, for example, a sport club, the other side of the border, a sport club, the other side of the border, they don't have to talk. It's not necessary to talk the national politics. They are talking about sports. And so we are working in thematic level on our own basis and interests. And if we let, of course, the national level conditions are influencing this. It's a like precondition. But it's like if you start with to work with that, it's like Don Quixote against the windmills, because you cannot basically in that situation you cannot do anything for it. If you want to do for it, go and be a deputy in the parliament, your own parliament, and try to change things.
The cross-border cooperation project that involves student mobility, parents might, if they have strong prejudice, not be willing to send their kids abroad. And depending on the results of that survey, we will be organized, we would like to have at least 10 students aged 12, accompanied by one teacher. And we have, hopefully, with the prospect of enlarging this group. And what they would be doing, it also depends on the outcome of our preparational activities. So if they are not that well prepared to cooperate, it would be maybe daily excursions, in which this teacher and the children would present their own region, their, what else did we decide? Regional traditions, local food, all that they can emphasize actually the similarities they have in their border area. And well, if the results of the survey are more optimistic, how we hope they will be, then we can have also maybe overnight stays with kids actually staying maybe with one of the families of their, let's say, no, not adoption, like, you know, a student exchange where you go to abroad and you sleep in somebody's family. You like have a local host family. In order to even increase this mutual understanding and cooperation. When we talk about measures and indicators, we would like to have at least 5 students from each country in our first year. In our first edition. And the concrete indicator would be the number of students participating in this exchange.
I think maybe the project will really have the impact. So something like that. But you should type it down, and then we actually can apply for some funding. Yeah, maybe some small scale, so not the IPA like 1,100. We can start with 3,000 euros and just create one day event of it. So just to start, and then we can proceed further to see how it goes.
I came a little late. I thought you will be working much longer.
Nah.
But I heard the last part of your presentation, and what came to my mind is that this 5 persons and 5 persons seems as an indicator quite low.
Implement it in Serbia and come up with a project that would like benefit both countries. So we decided to create an educational center in Serbia, and we'll invite professionals from Hungary who will like train the trainers. And these trainers then will teach will teach in this educational center, and like people with disabilities will be able to create something, some artwork, like hand-painted things, and twice in a year we'll have exhibitions, once in Serbia and once in Hungary. And people and these artworks from both countries will be like presented and sold on these exhibitions. So this is the main
Okay,
idea.
that's a good idea. Yeah, really. Russia came to Finland, for example. They have this sitting volleyball. They are playing volleyball when they are sitting, and they met the team from Finland, and they were playing and discussing about how to train. Some are quite serious, like almost professional and go to Paralympics. People in Russia thought that normal people who make pop sport, they don't want to come here because there are these professionals, and so they are ashamed. And we said, no, you can make special hours here because they don't have, it's almost always empty. You can make special hours when normal people can come here without seeing the professionals. So this kind of, it was quite fun actually. This.
The wishes are always very simple, but people somehow don't think of them.
Yes. You are used to the tradition. We have always done like this, and it's just that you meet, and the other people may have some